We are Red Iris.
Here out of Houston, Texas.
We're here with Critical Thinking Podcast, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle from TokyoMunchies.com, and I have an addiction. I can't stop saying TokyoMunchies.com. He's going to hate me if you put that on the show, but you should put it anyway.
I'm going to put it in.
So she used you. You've been used, abused, and reused.
Recycled?
Welcome to episode 801. I'm sorry, I'm a little, I'm just a little dyslexic up in this mother fricker. Here we go. No, let me try to get that. Critical Thinking Podcast is now.
Broadcast.
Broadcast. Hang on one second.
We're going to cast that prod.
My throat is chopped. Give me some. All right. I had a good intro. Fuck. I was going to do it. Shit. I was going to do the. Shit. I forgot what I was going to do. God damn it. All right. Let me try this again. Episode 108 brought to you by Tokyo Munchies. Tokyo Munchies.
Breathing. Breathing.
Oh, right. Quit breathing. Back away from the microphone.
We need to make him a vampire.
That's what you sound like.
I'm not breathing at all right now.
Somebody's breathing. Ain't me.
Kyle, get off the microphone.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, along with my co-host,
Rick the Rizzo, and our other co-host,
Sean.
And the other Mexican in the room, Miguel G.
And this is a critical look at all things gaming, movies, collectibles, and so much more.
Critical Thinking Podcast is now on XM Sirius Radio. Please listen to Critical Thinking Podcast on XM Sirius Radio.
I wish we were.
Shut up, damn it! I wasn't done. Cap this motherfucker. I was gonna go. We're on iHeartRadio, and I was gonna go everywhere. We're also on DirecTV. Remember, we here at Critical Thinking say, don't quit on anything unless it's cable. Wow. Welcome to episode 108, guys. How you doing, man?
We're doing all right. Doing all right.
Did you quit cable?
Actually, yeah, I've been quitting cable.
That's a good thing because cable's bad.
You quit cable?
I quit cable a long time ago.
Sean never had cable.
He's still on that box. You know, turn it and got to mess with the antenna to get the channel.
Fox viewing positions.
13.1, 13.2 and shit, right?
Man, I've been stealing the neighbor's cable for years. I don't know
there we go. Is that a code for sex? I just want to know.
Well, I got some hot neighbors, but you know.
That's a lot of cable to be laying, bro. Let me know. And Sean is dropping cable at TokyoMunchies.com.
How was your weekend, Sean?
Man, I had a pretty good weekend.
Manudity?
No, none of that.
Oh, okay.
None of that.
Oh, shit. Sounds pretty damn boring to me now.
No, but we did some networking at the house, did some LAN party stuff with some StarCraft.
That's a code for sex.
I thought he said sharding. I was like, what?
Sharding? No.
Sharkcraft?
So how was your weekend?
So my weekend was
church?
wonderful.
Church sermon.
That's right. I was busy being holy while you two were partying with the devil. I know.
Nice.
But
running with the devil.
No, actually, I can't even fucking remember anything about this weekend now, thanks to you. Now, let me see. Okay, so I did a LAN party and then watched some old 90s shows. Watched for just to like go back and see how many of the shows kind of still hold up to snuff today. Okay, we watched like Xena Warrior Princess. We watched Angel.
Nice.
And a couple others like that.
No Hercules. Dun, dun, dun,
I wanted to actually, but we didn't get the time because you know that's actually where Xena actually first like appeared was in Hercules. So I actually, at first I was kind of like, I don't know, but then I was like, you know what? Actually, some of the stunts and stuff, of course, some of it's over the top and ridiculous, but some of the things was like, man, her fighting isn't actually entirely unrealistic, which was surprising for the 90s because in the 90s they didn't have a lot of like martial arts consultants and stuff like that, like they do everything these days. So I was actually a little bit impressed with some of the choreographing and the moves, and it was actually, and of course she's hot as hell. I mean, I go back, I'm like, holy shit, I forgot she was that hot. Like in the 90s, man, TV stars were hotter.
Lucy Lawless.
Yes, Lucy Lawless is hot.
Not Gabrielle.
She's hot too.
Not Callisto.
I forget who that was.
That was the blonde haired girl that fought with Xena all the time. Fought against her.
Oh yeah,
She was Xena's main rival or whatever.
Man, I don't even remember her.
You know the dude that played Ares died. You know that, right?
Really?
Like in that show, like they did the show, right? They were in season whatever they were in, and he was climbing a scaffolding or somewhere in Australia, of all places, I think, and New Zealand, because that's where they film it, right?
Yeah, New Zealand.
So he was up on there. He fell off and died.
Wow. Yeah, they're all New Zealanders. That's why they had such fucking cool backgrounds.
So he was like only 40 when he died or some shit like that.
Damn,
pretty young.
That sucks. But yeah. So yeah, we had a fun time watching those shows. A lot of them really did hold up actually really well. Some of the things, the effects obviously aren't as good, but other than that, honestly, I found like the acting was a lot more mature. I thought that they were a lot better actors than most of the TV shows I see these days. In fact, they kind of made me, process a little bit and think about some of the newer TV shows, and I'm like, they can't really fucking act as well as they used to, because they were solid. They were really good, at what they did. So
they rely on the special effects now. They can't cry. All of a sudden, tears appear.
Right.
Why did that tear come out the nose? So interesting. Nice.
Yeah. So it was a great weekend. What about you, Miguel?
Well, let's see here. I Ubered.
Oh wow.
Actually, I take that back. I went to my wife's high school. Her wife's where she works at. They played their football playoff game this weekend. They did very well. It was very exciting. It was a good time with the family. Then the next day I Ubered just like Rick did and made a little bit of money, or had some funny stories there, and actually picked up a couple. Well, I not picked up a couple. Picked up 3 people, and 3 girls, and one of them was a guy. Dressed to the T. He had the wig. He had the bustier on. He had it all. I'm like, okay. And I thought at first glance when you see them coming up, you didn't pay attention from the distance in the dark. You look, okay, 3 girls. And then when you get in the car and they start talking, he's like, oh no, doing this, Mr. Witcher. I was like, oh my God. Then I realized it was a dude. So then I was like, I got a quarter in my pocket if you want it. And the girl started laughing. It was freaking hilarious. But he could do pretty good intimidation. He was actually a kind of funny guy. I didn't call him a guy because I knew he wanted to be a girl. So I didn't want to call him a girl because I didn't know if he really just wanted to be a guy. He just likes dressing in women's clothing. So I was just being the nice guy and, let him out of my car and get the fuck out of my car and left. But no, it was pretty cool. So yeah, I wasn't balling like Mr. Rick over here, but I did have one exciting story. I had to pick up that Travis Scott crap. You remember, Rick? Mm-hmm. So I went to go pick up some people there, and they told me how to get around. But apparently, cops were ticketing the Uber drivers and everybody else because they were stopping on the road picking people up instead of, they're not supposed to do that. So they're causing big, massive traffic jams. And so the guy called me. He's like, "Hey, well, let us know when you get here close enough because the cops are giving Uber drivers tickets." Okay. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, damn it, how am I going to do this? And I pull up and I get right to the light, and I'm the first guy. He goes, I think I see you. Yeah. Is that your car? Yeah. Wave at me so I can see you. Okay. He goes, well, unlock the doors. I say, what? You want me to roll up slow? You going to jump in? Yes. Gotcha. Went over there, dropped it down to 5. Doors unlocked. They opened, they jumped in, and we took off. No cop would get me, bro. I was gone.
That's some Mexican shit right there. Jeez.
And they were white people. I just got skills, bro. Just don't. I'm a Mexican driving a white car.
Wow, is that a go for sex?
No, but
Miguel's preferences.
Whoa. But no, it was pretty cool. It was nice.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Hey. So then my grandson came over on Sunday, and he's still at the house right now. And my daughter had to get some dentistry work, so she's not feeling too well. But so he's there at the house, hanging out and just having a blast, watching movies with him yesterday. He sat down and actually he likes playing my race cars, because I have a bunch of NASCARs. So he was playing with them, and we were watching stuff on the DVR, and then the big race was this weekend. So he was going to win the Cup. And they stopped the movie because they got finished watching it, and they had it on Channel 2. It was like, no, I have been recording. I don't want to. Oh, let's just go ahead and watch it. It's almost at the end anyway. And the guy I root for was in the front. It was a hell of a race. He wanted to win it, but my grandson sat down right by my lap with the cars in his hand watching the race with me. He had the winner in his left hand, and in the other hand, he had Harley. So he had Joey Logano on the left hand and Harley in the right hand. So I just thought that was funny. So it was cool. So that's what I did. How about your weekend, Rick?
Well, it was good. I had a 3-day weekend because I was off on Friday just as well as you were.
Thought I was about to say I had a threesome.
Wait. Just wait
on that one. All right,
I wasn't off on Fridays.
This past Friday?
I was working.
You were Ubering?
I got off at 2.
No, you said you were off. I thought you were off.
Oh, no.
No, anyways, I did better Ubering than
the MiG one.
The MiG one over here, because when he started, he was making more money than me, and I was like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden he was all like, now I know how you feel, because I pulled in over 2 this time.
Yeah, he got a little shady money too. He got a little dirty money.
When we got to the Travis Scott over there when the Astro World Fest, went over. I was like, I need to pick up one person. I was trying to get to them. They canceled on me. Then no one pinged. They were behind me, so I had to make a U-turn to go back. I was kind of stuck in a loop, and I was like, God damn. Well, finally, this one chick comes up. She's all like, I'll pay you $40. You take me here. Because she goes, are you an Uber? I said, $40. I was like, cancel. Get in the car. Let's go. We took off. Got that $40 cash money. Put that in my pocket.
You canceled your ride?
I canceled the ride, not in charging them.
Oh, okay.
And she got in the car. Cash money. Put that in my pocket.
This mother.
Got pinged again. Went back over there, but this time the people were in the parking lot. In a different parking lot outside from Kirby. So I was like, all right, went there. Picked these two black guys up, which was kind of cool. Got in the car. They went all the way in Galena Park. Damn. And I got it on a 3.8 surge price. So it was 3.8 times the rate.
Shit.
Asking how much you made on that.
I got all the way over there. It was about $70-something.
Damn.
With a $10 tip thrown on there. So I got an $80 payoff right there.
Holy shit.
This fool walking around with $235, something like that after the night was done.
Damn.
All I had was a measly $163.
And then, but talking about before that, though, I picked we were at a parking lot, our normal parking lot where we kind of meet and just talk a bit while we're on break. And then all of a sudden I get pinged from him. I was like, hi, it sucks to be you this time because I got pinged first before him. Ends up there was these 4 chicks at the Lupi Tortilla. Drunk as fuck. Fine as Hispanic chicks. So I go over there and I picked them up. They get in the car. And then they're fucking drunk talking all this other bullshit. The one that's kind of sober is the one next to me, but just bullshit. Get about halfway to where their location was. And, you know, because they know your name because your name's on the thing. The one behind me was like, Rick, would you like to do a foursome with all 4 of us and you?
What?
And I was all like, let me turn this off and let's go.
I've been like, let me take this shirt off first.
Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, dude.
Rick, you should have said, can I get paid for this too? I'm on Uber X and Uber Sex.
Is this a tip?
I don't know, man.
And then Sunday I was busy running around doing them other errands and stuff, so we didn't get chances. I didn't get a chance to see Survivor Series at all, so
I watched it at home, but my small grandson was there, so I was just having fun with him.
Other than that, that's about it, though.
Man, if there's any one thing TV's taught me, though, you get an opportunity like that, they're all into the occult or some kind of shit. You're going to walk in there and you're never going to walk back out again.
All right, well, now we're having the local band that comes out of Baytown.
Oh, yeah?
Red Iris.
The Baytime Risers.
I believe it's out of Baytown. They'll let us know a little bit more about
Beaumont
them.
Bohers.
Bohers?
I'm making up words as we go.
I do. The lead singer I do work with, she's a floater. She's, she'll come to our site sometimes.
She's a what?
She's a floater for where I work at. So she's at a different site right now, but sometimes she'll be at mine. But that's how I met that's how I know the band, how I met them and everything.
Hey, Rick.
Hey.
What are we, chopped liver?
Hi.
Hi, guys. So, look, I know Rick. I've met him a few times.
You know this guy?
The halls of, AIG.
Well, I'm Wayne, and I'm from Wales.
No, you're not.
and Sean is here from Dublin.
That's right. I'm here from Dublin.
He's Dublin is fat, but anyway.
That would be hard.
Colon blow.
Wait, that's the other way around.
Wait. I know. There's Miguel too. Hi, Miguel.
Hello.
But are you really Wayne? Is it actually Wayne, or are you just being like,
He's
funny?
lying.
He's lying.
He's just being funny.
That's the worst Dublin accent ever.
It is a bit crap.
Oh. Don't make me break out the Aussie accent.
Please don't.
Please don't. Please don't.
Okay, I like her already.
In the flat earth, flat earth believers or whatever they're called, flat earthers. They're like, there is no Australia, and all the people from Australia are just actors.
I'm Hugh Jackman.
Dang, then we could be Australian.
Be like some pretend person.
So the band is named Red Iris, correct?
Yes.
Well, you should know this, Rick.
This is for our audience, Mig.
One. Never leave off the one.
Yeah, that's his last name.
It does when you said it that way. Just Mig.
One. I'm the one, the only, the alpha, the omega.
Do you want to go ahead and take time to introduce yourselves to our audience?
So my name is Emily Glazner. I'm the singer.
Oscar Gonzalez, bass player.
Zeek Hernandez, guitar.
And we're also known as Boots, OG, and Zico.
Yeah.
AKA. Gotcha.
Wait a minute. She said
That's right.
sicko?
No.
Zico.
No.
They just call me Zeek.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought she
that's
said
just,
sicko. I was like, hey, man, we got a lot in common.
That's
Yeah, but like when we really want Zeke's attention, we're like, come on, Zico. You got to put an O at the end. Zico.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is there one more member of the
But
band?
no, they just call him Zeke. That's his nickname already.
There's two other guys. They're missing, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was wondering. I was like, I only heard 3. I knew I had more.
Yeah, we got a few more. Brock plays keys, and JJ plays the drums.
How did you guys get started in doing what you're doing?
Well, we all used to play in cover bands. I dropped out a while back doing that. Emily and our drummer JJ played together in a cover band. Jay and I played in a cover band years ago too. So basically just doing that. Zeek also has a cover band and has been around the scene for a while. So all pretty much seasoned musicians that decided to try to get together and create and write our own songs that we enjoy playing, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So do you cover anybody else's songs or do you sing your own original stuff?
No, it's all originals, definitely.
And locations, where do you guys normally play at?
So we play at White Oak. We played there quite a few times. We played at Fitzgerald's. We played at
Continental?
the Continental. Yes, we like playing at the Continental. Like that was like the goal at one time was to play Continental. We played there twice.
Hell, I was there twice this past weekend, picking up people.
Really?
Like, I didn't even know that shit existed. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Is this a strip club?
Continental's a really great place. We enjoy that. Satellite Bar. I remember when we played Satellite
that was
Bar.
one of the earlier gigs.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Our very first gig was at a friend's house, and we had like all of our friends show up, and it was their debut, and it's always a good fun story. When we got shut down by the police, we were loud. Everybody liked it. Even the cops liked it. They were just like, "You're loud."
Yeah, we got shut down about 3 songs in.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny because we'd gone around the neighborhood and talked to everyone in the front of the house, but not talk to the people behind the house and the way the speakers were situated. It was the people behind the house.
Yeah, they were getting an earful.
They were getting an earful.
Oh, man. So you guys almost did it right.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried. But, actually just 3.5 songs in, it was pretty cool to see it. We knew pretty quick that we got a really great response, and people never heard us before, but we got a pretty great response. And I mean, it was something that you just can't describe. When you get up and you sing other people's music, it's fun. But when you get up and you sing your own, and I guess stop me if I'm wrong, guys, about this, but it's a whole different experience.
Oh yeah, indeed.
So the question I have for you real quick is, you Oscar was telling us earlier, Albie, you guys had different cover, but you're part of different bands, and then y'all joined up Red Ice. What year did Red Iris actually come together?
In 2016.
I always say 2016.
2016.
The beginning of 2016, we really hammered it out for a good 8 to 9 months, and then we did the little debut show for family and friends. I want to say it was like November.
It was, yeah.
So we were kind of holed up, just writing, trying to come up with a good maybe set list of maybe 8 to 10 songs.
How many songs do you have right now, if you don't mind me asking? Sorry, Rick.
I think we're at a good maybe
9.
I was thinking more. Well, yeah, I guess a solid 9 to 10, and a good 3 that are almost there. So 13, 14, almost.
What genre would you describe your sound?
Go ahead with that one, Zeke.
Man, that's tough. I don't know. I couldn't even describe it myself because, I play a bunch of... I started out playing guitar, but back before doing the rock scene, I was playing, Mexican music, Tejano, Bajo Sexto, different types of guitars. And I can't put a finger on what we do because, so I'm going to say what people categorize us as, and I think they were we were told that we sounded, or that we could be categorized as alternative pop rock. The more we get reactions from people from, just listening to us, I mean, we definitely have a bluesy southern rock, some alternative possibly, and then just some classic rock feel. The problem is that we have a few songs that definitely have that vibe, and then the next few, we have one that JJ calls bubblegum pop. So,
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he tends to like to leave that one off the set.
He does.
so it's kind of it's hard to pinpoint, but I think that's why we enjoy it, because it's we're not set to say, hey, like that's not our sound, we shouldn't do it.
Gotcha.
Let's write this. Let's stick to this genre or something. It's whatever kind of throw it against the wall. If it sticks and we like it, we go with it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, like every alternative band or any hard rock band, you got to have that love ballad. You guys got that love ballad out there? Is that bubblegum pop, or is it you got a totally like a love ballad that stands alone on its own, from everything else?
I guess that would be Moonlight.
So I would say that our love ballad is it's not like you would think it would be. And Zeek, I guess stop me if I'm wrong, but I would think it would be Moonlight, and it's not a love ballad in the sense of what a normal love ballad would be. But it is me, and the lyrics. I wrote the lyrics. They're really close to my heart, but in a different kind of way. It's not like, oh baby, please love me. It really isn't. It's even though you're gone, I still love you, and I'm still going to carry on. That's what it is.
I got you. Pretty deep.
Out of all the songs y'all have done, have y'all actually recorded and made an album yet, or y'all still just
yeah, we have
clubs?
an EP. Zeke was saying that earlier. We have an EP out. All right, 5.
4-song?
Yeah, 4-song EP. Yeah.
Yeah, the EP, you can actually find it on www.redirismusic.com. That's for free listening. You can definitely download it off of iTunes. It's on Spotify, all your media outlets, but it's basically a 4-song EP that it goes through. I like to call more of the transitioning of kind of what we started, and then kind of going into that, like, what are we, and we don't know what it is until we just play it type of scenario. So there's 4 different types of songs on that EP,
Okay, so I have a question. For your band, everybody kind of has their own particular spin and the kind of emotional feeling, what they're trying to cast, the way they're trying to get their audience, the way they're trying to get the crowd stirred up. What for you guys is sort of the vision that you have for the band, the way that you carry the message, the way that you carry the feeling that you're trying to present? Like for some people it's a little shallow. It's like it's party rock. For others, maybe it's some kind of, it's just, hey, we just want people to feel good. But for you guys, it sounds like, you're all seasoned. You've been at it for a while in music, and you amalgamated together really well. You're working together. You've stayed together. So what are some of the themes that are underlying that really kind of are the direction of your band, that what you bring to the table?
Well, I can say that I know, and I know this for myself, and I know that there's something that I hear all the time from our drummer JJ. It's all about heart and what you feel, and I think it's how, we are seasoned, but it's how we want to project that, we've got this great music that we really like. We want to share it with y'all, and it makes us feel this way when we play it, and we can share that, with our audience. And even I've noticed, even yesterday when we played, there were people in the audience who caught on to the songs and they started singing along with us. It was just something, you get a smile in the face, or when somebody comes up and says, hey, I like that lyric, what were you thinking when you wrote blah, blah, blah? And I know, like, Zeke's got some amazing riffs, that are just like really catchy, and like everybody, like in Moonlight, and then like in Because of You, and there's different things that, people hear that. And that's just us putting our heart out and sharing it with y'all. It's not, I don't want to sell a whole bunch of stuff for me. It's just this, I'm going to share my gift with y'all.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just trying to write the best songs that we enjoy playing, and hopefully other people will enjoy them as well. Really.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So, what would be for you the defining song that you guys have done so far, say on your EP or whatever? What would be the defining song that kind of sums up what you're bringing to the table musically, and what you just shared of what you're giving to people as musicians and presenting to people as artists? What is that song?
That's a tough one, honestly. I do like all of our songs. I think Moonlight is really a great song. I think Drowning is a really good song too. Both really different in a way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a tough one. What do you think, Zeek?
Well, I mean, if you're going to define, again, if you're going to try to define like what's Red Iris, I mean, I think each song has similarities, but you really have to listen to what we're portraying or what we're bringing, or the soul and the love that's in the music, because you can definitely hear Oscar on the bass on every song. I mean, it is him playing. You can hear what he brings. You can hear the drums, JJ, what he brings. You can hear Brock. You can hear Emily, you can hear Emily. I think that some of the riffs that I bring also, you can hear the different, the similarities in between the songs. But I mean, I think a lot of songs just bring some of that soul that you don't hear a lot anymore, or as much as you used to. Some of that, just rock, soul, heavy ballad driven riffs and progressions and things like that. So, but to summarize it, I think it would be probably, Moonlight we're pushing as I would say a single, right?
It's really a great song.
Yeah.
And, there's other ones like, Mother Mary is a very heavy rock ballad type of situation there, where it's, where it really captures people. And then we get a lot of good reaction from Rise, 70s, 80s, and 90s rock, so with some alternative in there. So it's difficult to say because it's something that we're doing, but if we want to name one, I'd say that Moonlight is definitely probably a single that we're pushing.
Yeah. Have you guys heard it?
It's a really good song.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you had heard the EP or anything, or any of the songs off the 4 songs we did on the EP.
First song I heard was Moonlight because Emily showed me the video y'all had on YouTube of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rick posted them up in the messenger.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And that one came about pretty easily. Zeek had the guitar line there in the beginning, and I remember he sent it to me. Just kind of recorded it. I think just through Messenger. He sent me the guitar riff, and then I just wrote the bass line around that, and then we got together and started playing it for everyone. And Emily had lyrics already in her head, and it came about pretty organically.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I can remember right where I was standing when he played that, and it's that beginning part when he started, when he played that, and I just heard the lyrics right in my head. I mean, it was like a just meant to be kind of thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys, before you became Red Iris, and going back to you being a cover band, but it's not even it's just about you guys. I'm going to ask you 3 this question. Emily, Oscar, and Zeek. Who inspired you? I mean, what singer inspired you to become a singer? Emily, Oscar, what bassist, Zeek, what guitarist?
Now, that's great, because that's exactly the same question I was going to ask them. Same thing. So, guys, for each one of you, what is, and this is a hard question, what is the artist that kind of sums up what is inspiring your direction and what you're doing musically?
That is hard, because the first band I ever knew of was because of my cousins that were older than me introduced me to the Beatles, but then also they put on Black Sabbath, and I was listening to that, and then Zeppelin. But for me, you're little, so you buy Kiss records and shit because of their makeup.
Yeah.
But honestly, when I really started getting into music, it was Peter Hook of Joy Division. It was Les Patterson of Echo and the Bunnymen. Then getting back to the Beatles, listening to Paul's bass lines and Thunderfingers, John Entwistle, The Who, And then it's a ton, man. It's really hard to say which one influenced me the most. Eric Avery of Jane's Addiction, his bass lines, those players are some of my favorite, Yeah. But I can't pinpoint the one, honestly.
For me, I really liked soul music from my mom. My mom was really into soul music and the pop. And then from my dad, it was like old school country. Like things like lyric wise, things like, Marty Robbins and, like the song Shorty. It's like one of my most favorite songs, cause it's a great story. One of the things I loved from it was great story. Also, I'm really influenced by The Cure. I really like The Cure a lot. I really, been a big fan of Eric Clapton, but what really changed my life and what I can say without a doubt would be my biggest influence in music is Elton John. I was always a really huge fan since I was a kid. And a lot of it had to do, again, with the lyrics because, I sing and I can play guitar and things like that, but I always loved Bernie Taupin's lyrics and how whenever I heard one of Elton's tunes, it was like watching a movie inside of my head. And I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to make somebody else watch the movie, but it'd be my words. Definitely Elton John. Like, the way he sings, the way he, if you listen to him from the 70s all the way till now, it's different and how unashamedly different, because you get older and you change the way you do things. He was a huge influence and still is. In some of the ways I sing, I think you'd be like, yeah, there's Elton right there. At least I know. I'm like I think so. Like when Mother Mary, I'm thinking of something like from Tumbleweed Connection. That's that feeling I get when I hear Mother Mary. So yeah. But Bernie Taupin, his lyrics, huge influence. Zico.
So it's like you guys know you're not going to get one answer from any of us, right?
Absolutely. You're artists, so we expect that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I come from a different background. I started off playing, type of, I guess you can say ballads from the Latin side, Mexican side, however you want to say it. But I did play that for a long time, so I got a lot of inspiration from growing up from my parents and things like that, from just listening to Mexican music, Mexican style music, and I played that for a long time. I actually played in a band that did that. So I got inspiration from that side, but what I really liked was rock. So then, I remember listening to a lot of Guns N' Roses growing up. My brother always blaring it on the radio or blaring in the car. So they became very, quickly one of my favorite bands growing up. So, them to Red Hot Chili Peppers to Pearl Jam to, I'm more on that side of the scene than these guys. And that's kind of where a lot of the inspirations just really come from. And, to me, Slash is one of the greatest rock blues guitarist type of sound that you can have. So, that's really kind of where my side comes from. So I don't have a long story. I like it all. I like a lot of music. I listen to a lot of music. I listen to a lot of players. But it's just more that good old classic rock is kind of where I'm at.
So if I said to you Tom Morello, what would you say?
I'd see. So I listen to Rage a lot too. So so I play some Tom. I like what Tom does, and I definitely dig it. So yeah, for sure.
Interesting, Emily, when Rick was showing me something, the video, for some reason, all I could think of was, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't know. Amy Lee? Is that right? Evanescence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I pictured. I heard, like I said, I was listening to the lyrics, but I was watching. That's all I could think of.
Yeah. I never liked that band.
Oh man.
Yeah, honestly,
I love it.
I can't
You know what?
I can't tell you one song.
Instead of being Amy Lee, to me, like when I'm standing out there, actually most of the performers that I've ever watched that I really like are guys. Like I've always been, like I watch, guys perform and I normally listen to a bunch of singers. But if it was any female, that I would be thinking of when I was playing something. It's more like of a Janis Joplin thing. It wouldn't be nothing against the,
nothing against them at all. I mean, a lot of people like that band.
Yeah, but I like the band. I've heard a couple of songs, but yeah. That's more of my feel of what I grew up with, and what I know of, that and even you'll laugh, but even oh man, what's the guy who pulls his hair all the time? They used to make fun of him in Saturday Night Live. Kind of thing, what would I do if I sang out of tune? He did Joe Cocker. That's it. So that kind of thing is where they just put their literal heart and soul out there, and sometimes I look kind of crazy up there, I'm sure. But that's what I'm thinking. That's what I've watched, throughout the years. Even I can remember being a kid and watching George Michael up on stage, and he's such a great entertainer. He would run from one side of the stage all the way to the next, back and forth. But if it came to a female, it would definitely be. I mean, if you've ever seen any footage of Janis Joplin up there, she left nothing. Yeah, it was just all out there.
When it comes to songwriting, is it as a group, or does someone do the lyrics, or?
Well, Emily definitely handles the lyrics, but Zeek will come in with the guitar riff, and I'll write around that, or maybe I'll try to come in with a little bass line, and he'll write around that. Our drummer, Jay, hears a bunch of stuff in his head and tries to pass along what he's hearing, so we try to figure that out. He's got some really good ideas.
Right.
So everyone just kind of comes in with a little something they've been playing with, and we try to write around that if it's kind of catchy, or build on that riff or a melody, and kind of go from there. But it's definitely definitely a group effort on the songwriting side. Lyrically, it's all Emily.
Interesting.
Well, there were a couple of songs. There's a couple of songs that Brock's lovely wife Michelle wrote lyrics to, and when we first came together, and that I believe that was Misery and Because of You, and we those were the songs that we discovered whether or not this was going to work. And her lyrics are really, really beautiful. So she had a lot to do with that. And the most interesting one, though, is there's this song that we have, and it is on the EP, and it's called Emma Song. And we call it Emma Song because for some reason we just couldn't get that timing of those chords down right. And Brock's little girl, she played the chords and recorded it and sang it. So when you hear the recording in the beginning, it's the little girl, my love goes away. That's Emma singing that. And so she even brought so much to the table, and we could hear it after that, coming from that, what a child hears. Yeah, at 10. She was 10 at the time. Yeah. The eyes of a child, right?
When my love goes away, there'll be nothing left to see. No more words to say. My love goes away. There be no song.
But after those songs, it would be what you said. It would be like Moonlight was definitely that kind of thing.
And, that's really fascinating. Like, because to me, I'm going to use you guys a little bit as a think tank for something I've been personally kind of cogitating over for a while.
No one cares.
Shut the fuck up, Miguel. Anyway, you guys have given me enough shit before these guys even got on here, so you can shut the fuck up and let me ask my question. So, you guys as seasoned musicians, and you're all kind of coming from a little bit of a different perspective. Of course, guitarists always have a different take and a different way that they're coming in as like a vocalist would. And, even as we're listening to your stories, you as the vocalist, you're coming across more as being story based, being lyrically based, and what the, like you said, it's like a movie inside your own head, what you're seeing as you're listening to the lyrics. So my question to you guys is, as artists, how do you bring together the side where it's just like, well, it's about the music versus, well, it's about the lyrics? And my question is it even really a difference, or is it two sides to the same coin? Is the emotional expression, is the side of what you're communicating, what you're bringing to the table, actually different parts of the same experience? And that's why you guys work together so well.
I think everybody really, respects basically what everybody brings. So that makes it a lot easier for me, because I can just write a riff and everybody will like it. So, but I mean, I think it really, when it comes to comparing, or hey, what are we going to write around a lyric, or what are we going to write around a riff, or what way are we going into this song? What should we talk about? It really becomes just like, I think we all just generally accept where the song is just taking us as musicians, and where it's taking just ourselves as just listening to what somebody not should be expecting to hear, but what's going to capture the attention of the audience, right? And
yeah, it's definitely it happens organically. I mean, there's stuff that we left off the table. I mean, that we thought
there's so much off the table.
For whatever reason, it just we couldn't hammer it out, or we're going to get back to it. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ideas like that. Hopefully we will revisit, but yeah, if they didn't come together organically, I guess the way we would have liked, then we'll put it on the back burner. But I guess they're one and the same. You want the lyrics to mean something and be catchy or melodic. It's going to draw people in. But then the music's got to be right there with it too. One doesn't, take precedence over the other.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There are times where, and it's because it's not just doing the lyrics, it's also like I'm writing the melody too. They're always like, the melody cannot sound the same as what Zeke's playing, because sometimes you jump into that. And so like when I'm writing something, a lot of times it's either JJ or Zeek will say, hey, maybe not do this octave, but do this other octave. And so even though I'm writing the melody, in my head, I don't have an instrument. I'm just doing it, in my head. And I take that into account. Sometimes there's a little pushback between, everybody, but that's what makes it so good. I mean, because if I just went in there and I just did my own, it would be so plain. I like the fact that there's discussion between all five of us. Every single song, there's discussion between all five of us.
Yeah, it's definitely collaborative.
Yeah, and the way it grows, I mean, it like just yesterday, the drummer JJ and I were talking about how long it took to write Arise, which isn't on the EP, but there's footage of us just to get the ending down, like the way we wanted it. It took a good 3 months, if not longer. And we worked on it. And now it's just like, it's secondhand. Like we just know it just right away, and we do it same way. And it's just so comfortable. But knowing that it was all of us that brought that song to where it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we make things more difficult being that way. Because, Emily could come in and be like, hey, I have this song, guys, it's already done. Right. Oscar write a bass line to it. Zeke play the chords, come up with a lead. And that's that. But I guess that could be a lot easier, if we all did that individually. But that's not really true to what we're about,
Just wouldn't be as good, nowhere near.
Yeah.
I think we just challenge ourselves more than we don't We don't say, "Oh, okay, well that sounds good," or that's your.
Never.
No, it's never on the first take.
Never on the first take.
For sure. It's always. I think we make sure to get each other out of our comfort zones. That's the main thing. Because if we all stay in our comfort zones, then each song will sound similar to the last one, and we'll never create something that's unique or that doesn't sound like the previous song. So doing that, I think helps us change the feel.
Yeah, I love how we'll play it one practice, and the very next week, JJ will come in and say, I heard something different in my head, and he'll explain to us what he heard, and that we hash it out and we see which one. So yeah, it's everyone.
It might be a little, I wouldn't say it's harder, but it definitely pushes us to do something pretty special, I think.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that there's not like that pushback. And, sometimes that pushback is fun. It's not like that. It's not all rosy and sweet and, oh yeah, maybe that'll be a great idea. Yeah. It's not always like that.
That's interesting.
No, we understand what you're talking about because before, right now there's 3 of us, but there was 4 of us, and technically there's still 4 of us, but our 4th member hasn't been with us for a while due to work constraints and stuff like that. But we definitely do things as a group here, so there's pushback back and forth, and so we understand what you're talking about, which is going to lead me in my next couple of questions here. But let's get the simple one out of the way. Red Iris. How'd y'all come up with the name?
In the kitchen,
it's so boring.
In the kitchen at Brock's house, we literally were just throwing words out, and it was like process of elimination. We're like, now scratch that. We're throwing words up against the wall and just kind of scratching them out, and then narrowed it down to 2, Red Iris, and that was it.
Yeah,
it was really hard.
Yeah. I mean, it took a while. Because we all had to agree on it. And we had 2 columns of names, right? And we were putting them all together. And we'd say one, and we're like, no, we already know a band that's got that name in it. We'd say another one, no,
we didn't like
used
it
to be a band of that. It sounds too much like this, sounds too much like that.
It was actually kind of funny because Iris was on the board, and then Red wasn't even on, gotten scratched out, and all of a sudden just Red came out, and everybody's like, well, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah. So we needed to come up with something. We basically had been a band for a good 8 or 9 months and hadn't decided on
and
it.
We had that show.
And we had the show coming up in the backyard,
man,
or whatever that was.
So it was after practice. Everybody's like, "Listen." It was Brock's wife, and she put it up on the computer, and she put the columns up, and it was just the 5 of us and her, and we went through them, and everybody. I think we had something to eat, sitting around just trying to figure out. I mean, it wasn't like a shot out of the dark, and this is just like a moment. It was like, all right, that'll work.
That's hard. I mean, I don't know if you want the band name to be real meaningful and attached to it or anything, but you kind of would like it. But then it's kind of hard to come up with it.
But I think it's really grown on it. Grown on us, though. Yeah.
That's interesting. So. Okay, so like everything else in your band, it just kind of arose from the organic, just amalgamation of your different styles, and there's conflict, and there's, okay, what are we going to do? And then it finally comes together in what it gets distilled into, Red Iris. So what does Red Iris actually mean to you? So, even if we're just taking it okay, you would just want to throw an interpretation on there all of a sudden, do you have an interpretation? What does that mean to you?
Well, I bet it's different for everybody. But for me, I'm a female playing in a rock band, and I've played in quite a few rock bands. And and I have grown up with guys in the sense I have 3 brothers. I'm raising 3 boys. So I'm always surrounded by the guys. So to me, the Iris is the feminine part of the band. And the red is the rock and roll, just straight up. If you see anything, if you see Motley Crue, if you see, Black Sabbath, you always see black and red. You know what I mean? Red is always a big thing in rock and roll, whether it's whatever kind of rock it is. So to me, when I hear Red Iris, when I think of Red Iris, I'm that feminine touch. I'm that female in the rock band, and just hanging out with the guys and having a good time. Zeek, I don't know what you think.
Well, I mean, on my side, it's that. It's the subtleness of the iris, and iris being the flower, and the red being the aggressiveness. So bringing some aggressiveness with some subtleness and some passion and some love behind it and some soul, and just presenting that to the people. So I mean, that's kind of where I.
Yeah, shit, I never thought of it that much. So both of those answers sound really good to me.
That's okay. Go ahead and bullshit your way through. Give us an interpretation right now.
He just did. I like those two.
I never thought about it that much, but those two answers sound really good to me.
Yeah, it's kind of jacked up because like we didn't even realize that was the name until it came out, and then like 2 years later we're like, well, that's what it means.
No, I mean that's perfectly normal.
There you go. Here on Critical Thinking Podcast, now everyone knows what the IRIS stands for.
Yeah.
So now going back to that local Houston band, obviously you played around here in Texas. I'm assuming you stayed in Houston. I don't know if you've gone outside of Houston, but the question I'm going to go with here is Critical Thinking Podcast. Here we didn't gain our following here immediately. Our following tends to be outside of the U.S. I mean, we're huge in freaking Australia and Canada and other foreign countries. It's weird as hell. I don't know how to explain that crap.
That's awesome.
But it's like, it's weird. So with your album, your EP out, where do you see most of your stuff coming from, your fan base coming? Do you see it coming from Houston? Or do you see a lot of it matriculating from other states or other countries?
You know, it's funny because, well, definitely Houston has, you know, our homegrown roots, and you know, we have fans here because of that. But it's weird you say that because if you go to our Spotify or if you go to look at the stats of the accounts and things like that, it all comes from overseas, like Europe. There's a big majority that comes from that little descendant area. Some Australian folks listening to us and things like that. I mean, we're getting spun in Chicago and Boston and things like that on some internet radios, and we're actually on the Katy radio here too, on the internet. But it was weird to kind of look at those stats and kind of show like, wait a minute, people were like streaming us over there and they continue to do it. That's where it's like, how do you figure that out, or how does that come to play? But I guess it just happens that way. Sure.
I know, it's wild, right? Because you could look up and like, Finland, what the hell?
Yeah.
That is really cool.
It's like, make that joke. We're huge in Iraq.
we might be big in Japan.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? One of our sponsors is from Japan, so there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I will throw something out for you guys. After the show is done or whenever, I would recommend you guys contacting a young lady by the name of T Dawn. She's at Beyond the Dawn Radio, the internet radio as well, but they're out in California. They play us every weekend. They play us twice now. They play us live. Well, every Thursday night. No, what is it? Thursday night records?
Thursday nights.
And then they play us again on Saturday or Sunday. So we get multiple plays. And they constantly play old episodes of ours as well. I think they even had a marathon one time. So definitely you want to maybe reach out to them, help you expand that reach a little bit more.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're already big in Japan, I mean, come on now. By the time you're done here, you'll be huge in Iraq.
You know, I know. I have a friend who's in England, and somehow he figured out how to download Moonlight into his ringtone. His name is Christopher. Yeah, he'll comment on it, and so like he walks around with Red Iris playing when his cell phone rings, and I just think so that is so
how
cool.
often are you calling him?
Yeah, I'm not. But that's in Swindon, England. Hello, Swindon. You know, so I'm like, that's so cool to me.
That's pretty cool. I was just looking your stuff up earlier when you were talking to Rick and giving your album and everything else. I'm able to pull you up on Google Play as well.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are there. So I know a lot of people, friends that I have that are from England, that had their own shows out there. They do a lot of stuff with Google Play as well. So that's pretty cool that you're there. So they'll be able to pull you up there as too. Obviously just not just Spotify or iTunes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. I mean, it's exciting to know that other people listen to it and then enjoy it, you know?
I imagine, and I'm assuming you guys tend to feed off the crowd when you have a good crowd there and they engage with you guys. And I imagine it's got to be a pretty big rush.
It's fun. Yeah, definitely.
It is. And Oscar and I have this thing where we try to share the front.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's good. Not to start putting some tape down on the stage.
Yeah, like he's like, this is my area, Emily. Because like he gets all into it, and like you've never seen nobody like that. It's like he's got him going, you know.
No, y'all are wrong. Actually, You're wrong, Emily. That's actually my area.
On the left side? On the left side? I don't know. Like,
Zeke's got the right, I got the left.
Yeah. So I'm trying to squeeze in, because they go back and forth, but you haven't hit me with anything yet. I run into Oscar a couple of times and he's hit me with the bass.
It's a nice big Thunderbird, so she doesn't want to get hit by that.
Crap out of it. Yeah, so I'm always thinking, this is Oscar's side.
Eventually she'll just be standing in the back with the keyboard.
Yeah, I'm just back there with JJ, like, hey.
It's safer back there.
Yeah.
Not being in the music industry, not knowing how things work out. I know you guys were playing. You said like what's that place downtown again? You just mentioned
the Continental.
The Continental, and there's other spots you get to play. Have y'all attempted to try to get into like a bigger venue, like maybe like a Cynthia Woods or something like that? I don't know how hard that is, or is someone else like had a chance to actually come to you and say, "Hey, would you like to open for us?"
I was just talking about how that would be a goal, opening for a particular artist that I like, but like for something for us to push towards. But playing at the White Oak is really actually it's a pretty cool place to play. Shows. Those are whenever we do. So when we played at the White Oak, the last time we played was the last time. The last time we opened for with Disciples of Dio's Disciples, which was like Dio without,
basically Ronnie James Dio's band.
Yeah,
with Ripper Owens, who took Rob Halford's spot in Judas Priest.
Yeah, and then before that, we opened for Puddle of Mud. Like we were direct support for Puddle of Mud there at the White Oak, and then the coup de grace would be when we opened for Corey Feldman. By the way, that was fun.
The Goonie.
Yeah, we did that.
Nice.
That was great, man.
That was actually...
It was funny because actually it was sold out. It was the upstairs room that holds about 300 people. So luckily, and for whatever reason, they were there pretty early. So we got to play to a packed house, and it went over really, really well.
Yeah. We got quite a few fans.
Then he came on after this DJ guy played. And it was good, but he played for a good 2 hours, man.
Yeah, he did.
Apparently, Corey's got like 5 albums. So, yeah.
Holy crap, I didn't know that.
The room cleared out pretty quick. Because he was up there for 2 hours.
Yeah,
they were done.
It was an experience. Let's just say that. It was an experience, but we got a lot out of it. We had so much fun. It was cool.
I think that opened the doors for us at White Oak. Actually.
It sure did. And we played there like quite a few times now.
Yeah, I think we've done about 3. Yeah. No, 4 times. We did our own show there as well downstairs with other local bands. So.
Yeah. So we really enjoy that. I know that we've had offers to play the House of Blues, the Foundation Room a few times, and we're working on that. We went all the way to Austin and we played outside of the South by Southwest. That was cool. We had people coming in off 6th Street and coming in and listening to us, which was really, really, really cool. And we would like to do that again, get out there. So those are the goals, and playing places like that. And we started off playing some smaller places. But yeah.
What do you mean? We started off in a backyard, broken up.
We're getting smaller than that.
Yeah. Well, then after that, there's some other smaller places. Like downstairs, Fitzgerald's, it was a little smaller, but then we got upstairs. So it's been good.
It's like not anymore at Fitzgerald's, and they sold it.
Yeah, I think January is when it's gone.
They'll have to come play at the 200th celebration of critical thinking. So it'll be like us and nobody else.
So, as a goal, what's the end game to y'all as a band? Like us at Critical Thinking, like our end game here, our end goal here is actually we do this for a living.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'm going solo, man. Screw y'all. I got a solo career.
It's funny because it changes after we reach the next goal. I can remember for the longest time we really just wanted to play Continental. It's a cool place, and we got there. And then we played the White Oak. And before that, there are other goals, and when we set them, then you got something to work towards. So
I would like to record all our songs.
Yeah, I would really enjoy that myself.
Get all those down on some kind of format. It would be nice.
I think it'd be kind of cool if the next show you do, you record it live.
That's not a bad idea.
And
then we've got a bit of video where we recorded a whole show, and it sounds pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, we
I
Discovery.
We were suggesting maybe do a live CD.
See, that could be something you could record, make copies of it, give to us. We can do a giveaway to bring more people, or that's something you could give away the next time you have a show. You know, free DVDs or CDs for them when they walk out the door. Because word of mouth is huge, especially. I mean, it's been huge for us.
I think Brock records like every show.
Yeah, like I'm saying, we have some pretty good video of us.
Yeah,
live,
and then just audio of us live too. Yeah. Brock, am I right about that, Zeke? Doesn't Brock record like every show or almost?
Yeah, well, probably not every show, but he does. He brings his report.
Yeah.
Right.
When you do your shows and you're playing live, I just mentioned you're doing live. Have you ever had anybody Periscope you or even do a Facebook Live?
Yeah.
Yes, we have. We had yesterday.
Go ahead and do that. Spread it as much as they can, you know.
Like I put on my I think I might have sent it. Rick, I sent you a video of and it was Moonlight. I think what we did. had somebody record a couple of songs yesterday. And then we had people out in the audience, and you can tell that they're doing Facebook Live. You know, that's really, really cool.
I think, the more they share, the better. I don't think it's there's any negative in that, you know?
When we played the Rockefeller, that Facebook Live, I think Michelle had done that one was really, really good.
Sounded really good. Yeah.
That one was, and playing that venue was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Rockefeller was cool. We played with Santa Scooter.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there.
Well, I know you have your YouTube channels, Rick was saying earlier. So you have stuff out there. I mean, you put videos, whatever you guys are doing, songs releasing. You tag us into this more ways we could help you, you know, spread you out there, and we could tweet it out and everything like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, well, I do have a question. So we're going to get a little more into the shallow territory.
You brought it up, not me.
Well, I have to represent you fairly, Miguel, especially when you're tired and having an old man moment.
Oh, okay.
But for you guys, would you describe yourselves as nerds in any sort of way? And if you are, what would be the thing of interest for you? Like Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC? What are your interests?
Porn.
That is not a valid category of nerddom. Moving on.
Have you not seen Star Trek porn? What the hell is wrong with you?
That's a category of porn, not of nerddom.
It got awfully quiet.
I know. Like,
well, I'm not a nerd, so I can't answer
You're not. OG is not a nerd. Well, I will claim myself as being a nerd, and I'm totally okay with that. Like my last Office, all this stuff I add up, you know, because I like those Pops characters and things like that. I enjoy Marvel. Like I said, I think earlier, I have 3 brothers. It's just, you know, 1 girl, 3 boys. And so like, Star Wars has always been big for me. But I think one of my biggest nerdiest things has to do with music, in the sense of like, I like biographies. So like when somebody says something about so-and-so, I was like, yeah, I read that biography, and he said that this is what he thought. I try not to be that person, because there are other people who do it, and I'm thinking, you weren't there. And then I turn around and sometimes do the same thing. But that's probably one of my biggest things is I really enjoy reading biographies of musicians, and seeing how they did things. And like, I'll be the one that goes and walks around and talks about it.
If I read anything, it's definitely a biography.
Or like those documentaries that are on, you know, like I could sit through like a 3-hour Eagle documentary, and just like, to me, to other people are like, oh, that's nerdish. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it's cool. They're cool.
Don Felder's book
made
me hate Don Henley more.
Not as much as you did, more than you did before, right?
Yeah,
more than you did before. It's kind of funny to me. But so for me, it would be the Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. Not Star Trek at all. I'm not a Trekkie. I'm sorry. I can't get into it. I've tried, and
Miguel's giving you the evil squint.
Been unsuccessful. But yeah, that, and then on the other side, I just like, I love biographies. I just think it's so interesting to think about the person, especially in the beginning, you know, they were a kid, what they were like as a kid, or what they were like, you know. I've read one on Sting, of course, I've read one on Elton, I've read one on the Beatles. The best one on the Beatles, see, this me being a nerd, is Shout. There's not one better than that. That's by Philip Norman. That's like the best one I've ever read. There's one on Buddy Holly. I really like Buddy Holly. That's my nerdish thing, is biographies like that. Zeke?
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think of a nerd moment, and I can't think of anything.
Oh, come on. So both of y'all are not nerds.
You're the main nerd.
That's, you know what? I will wear that badge. I'm okay with that, because I just think y'all are closet nerds. Right?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Anyone who's a musician is really at least a music nerd. Like, you know everything that there is about whatever genre you're interested in, and kind of the whole broad spectrum of music, really.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, that's the stuff that I can nerd out about really quickly.
I mean, honestly, I remember as a kid, if I wasn't playing outside, I wasn't inside playing with, you know, Hot Wheels and shit. I was listening to albums, and I would listen to the albums front to back, whether it's, you know, the Beatles, the Iron Maiden, the Echo and the Bunnymen. But sit in the room, pull out the album, go through every lyric while the song's playing.
Hold the vinyl.
I could do that for hours.
Yeah,
so if I geeked out on anything, it was definitely music.
I can remember doing the same thing, but what really got me in my life was years later. My brother came up to me and he's like, I know every single Elton John song because like he would hear it from my room. Not that he wanted to listen to it, but he would hear it from my room.
Yeah, that's okay.
And it was just so funny. He's like, I know every lyric. I know them all. And he wasn't upset. It was just like he was kind of like he couldn't believe that he had gotten to that point, you know, because of course I would sing along because that's how I learned how to sing anyway, was just, you know, following Elton's voice. But yeah, so that's what I would do. And I love to open up the vinyl because and you can look at the booklets and everything like that. Yeah. So that's, like I said before, that's my big nerdish thing. I love that. Looking at the pictures and everything. Like, and now everything is electronic. So there's nothing to hold. Like my kids are never going to experience what that's like. Like putting the record on, you know, the needle down and hearing that pop. And it was just,
and, you know, and
awesome.
besides my cousins turning me on to music, I think, my kindergarten teacher, Miss Seals, would play the piano for us in the mornings. And if she didn't play the piano, she'd put on some albums. And would blow me away with when she would take out the record. The vinyl was always different colors, whether yellow or green or red. And that just like blew me away. And that was, you know, the love of records and just sitting there and listening to songs all day long. You know? I thank Miss Seals for that. It's got a little bit of
awesome. Okay. Another more shallow question, because apparently I'm having a hard time actually throwing shallow questions here. What would be for each one of you the movie of the decade?
Spinal Tap.
The movie of the decade?
Oh, well, decade, the 80s decade.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean,
I love Spinal Tap too, but I was like, a decade? Like that's the right decade. I think it's so
wrong decade, but
well, I mean, you took the question loosely, and I'll give you props for creativity on that. You know, run with it.
Movie of the decade.
I don't know. My decade, the movie of my decade would have to be something like Old School. I mean, I remember watching Old School over and over and over, along with Dumb and
You made it like actual Old School.
You're my boy, Blue.
Old School and Dumb and Dumber. Those two right there. Ever. So those two, if you didn't have those on repeat, oh my God, you got a problem.
That's funny.
That's crazy. That's awesome. So we got Spinal Tap, Old School, and Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, The Warriors was great.
Warriors. Yeah.
That's funny. We did an episode on the Warriors. We did a retro. We call them retro rewinds, where we basically do a kind of like review. How do the movies hold up now after all the years later? We did the Warriors, and we definitely had high praises for that one. That was a personal favorite.
I got that on DVD, man. I throw it in every once in a while.
Nice.
You guys have to let me borrow that one now.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What about for each one of you? What would be your favorite actor or actress?
Daniel Day-Lewis and female Kate Blanchett. That's mine.
So mine is Robert Downey Jr., but it's not just because he's Iron Man. It's I really like him because of other stuff. Some even like, you know, watching things like Chances Are or Heart and Souls. You know, I know those are chick flicks, but I always love those. Of course, everybody loves Less Than Zero, and then also there's a movie. It's called Home for the Holidays, and I just love him in that movie. He plays the youngest child so well in that movie, and you know, and I loved the fact in that movie he's probably really coked out, but it just works so well. Chaplin, just great. And then actress, I'm not really sure. You know what? I like Zoe
Deschanel.
Yeah, I like her. She's funny and she could play everything. Like I love the episode of where she meets Prince and the new girl. That's so great. And the way she tells him to shut up. She's like, I'm so sorry. I like her. You know, I think the way she comes across on the screen is pretty awesome. So so I guess those are two way far off. Yeah. Yeah, but I love Robert Downey Jr. and Alan Alda. I like Alan Alda. Those are way
I was
crazy.
just going to say Alda Nova.
No, Alan Alda, like from MASH, and then
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah. I was thinking that same time next year. That's a great.
Zeek?
Your turn, Zeke.
Oh man, let's see. I think I dig some Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Dig some Adam Sandler. And the female side. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm more on the comedy side. But females, I think Sandra Bullock's always done a great job in whatever she plays. She does some awesome things, and yeah, that's probably about it. I'm sure there's more, but I mean, you said name one, and I'm already we're at 3 or 4.
And he starts gazing off into infinity. So, another question. So we are obviously in Thanksgiving week and heading towards Thanksgiving. So really quick, for each one of you, what are some of your, just Thanksgiving plans and traditions, things that you guys will be doing?
Well, I am going to my parents and my brother and my kids and I are going to go to my mother-in-law's. I always make sure that we do something all as a family. Nobody gets left out, kind of thing. And what we normally do the day before Thanksgiving, so it'll probably be Wednesday, is my kids and I will put up the Christmas tree. That's what we'll do. It's like it's always our thing. That's what we do. Everybody else, I guess, has different ones, but that's when they'll know. And the few times that we haven't done it that way, it's always been noticed. Like, we're supposed to be putting up the tree right now. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to prep the cookie. I mean, the turkey. But yeah, putting up the Christmas tree the evening before Thanksgiving is that way. You got the Thanksgiving pictures with the Christmas tree, but you also have that feeling of the holidays and family. For me, it just brings it closer like that.
Yeah, we'll just get together with my side of the family, my siblings and their spouses and the nieces and nephews. And then that's Thursday. And then Friday, we'll do something else with my wife's side of the family. Got to spread it out so you're not just running around all day long on Thursday. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we just typically get together as probably everybody else does. I mean, I used to go to Mexico every holiday, so I used to spend a lot of time over there. And I'm thinking of trying to get back into that rhythm. I think my parents went over there now. They've been hanging out over there for a few days. It's just one of those things where you just want to get back where the home is, man. So, yeah, that's about it.
Cool. All right. Well, we're going to wind down to the end here. Go ahead. This is y'all spot. Announce any hashtags, Twitter accounts, Facebook. Announce it to our audience, whatever gigs y'all got coming up.
Yeah, go ahead and promo your band, basically.
Yeah, promo yourself.
Go ahead, Zeke. You know all those.
Zeke, you're the man.
We're working on some House of Blues Foundation Room plans but typically the way our shows work is, I mean, we're pretty spare of the moment, 2 months out, 3 months out type deal. So you just kind of stay active on our social medias and kind of just understand like, hey, what's going on, because there's always something happening in Houston. Like, I mean, we got this Via Glory show that we did like what was it, Em? Like a month in advance, maybe 3 weeks in advance, something like that. So
yeah.
You just kind of got to really stay posted onto the social medias and kind of understand.
Yeah, where can they find you on social medias? Which outlets?
We got Facebook is definitely Red Iris, www.redirismusic.com, and then we have an Instagram page that we really haven't been focusing on a lot, but we're trying to put more focus on that side of the social media outlets. But the main ones is going to be Reverb Nation, Facebook, and then redirismusic.com.
And we got Instagram. We got hashtag Red Iris Music.
Yeah,
that's where you see a lot of our pictures and things like that. And I know each and every one of us, we post stuff on our own pages and our own social media. and tag each other. And
yeah, and have our friends share as much as they want, our stuff. Very helpful.
So how do we find you guys on both Facebook and Instagram?
Well, you can find us, first of all, we have a website too, so it's criticalthinkingpodcast.com. And that has, of course, everything linked up there. But you can find us on Facebook as Critical Thinking Podcast. You can find us on Instagram as @CriticalThinkingPodcast. On Twitter, what are we on Twitter? You guys handle Twitter. I don't touch Twitter.
@critic_thinking.
Okay, @critic_thinking. So Miguel's very active on that one, so you guys can, be in contact with him on that one. Rick mostly handles the Facebook. I handle the Instagram. So you kind of, the trifecta of Critical Thinking Podcast kind of gets spread between those 3 social media networks. But so any parting words, any shout outs, anybody you want to, put out there and say, hey, thanks for helping produce us or whatever.
I want to give a shout out to Jesus. Oh, not me. My bad.
No, I want to thank you guys for having us, man.
Absolutely,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and shout out to JJ and Brock. Wish they could have been here. Just some things sometimes come up. So, and all of our musician friends who come out and support and let us know what they think, whether it's good or bad. Because they all have opinions. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely everybody that comes out and support us. I definitely want to, thank the family, thank Red Iris, thank the guys, the gal, thank the good old lady downstairs, Alexa, keeping up with us with all this sound that we make, this ruckus in the rooms. But it's just one of those things. Everybody's supporting us, so I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the podcast for sure.
We appreciate the support in live music, local live music.
Well, the next time you guys perform, let us know. We'll try to come out to the show. Might even try to do some periscoping or maybe even try to do some crazy stuff while you're going through your show. Do something. But
some crazy behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Backstage, we have backstage passes. Sean and I jump on the stage and sing with you. And
drunk as fuck, right?
Yes, exactly. We're Hall & Oates.
Awesome, guys. Well, it's been a freaking blast. We've loved it. Thanks so much for coming on with us, and definitely hope to see more coming from you guys sometime soon.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Good night. Thanks.
All right. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Red Iris from Houston, Texas, joining us on episode 108 of Critical Thinking Podcast.
Yay!
On the week of Thanksgiving.
You guys were like shocked to hear me do it in such a normal voice. You're waiting for
I was like, where's the catch? There's got to be a catch here somewhere.
There's no catch. Now remember, if you're listening to Critical Thinking Podcast, you must subscribe to Japan Ramen Box and TokyoMunchies.com. And also drive by our other sponsors, Uncanny Comics, located in Rosemont, Texas, and go buy some comics. Or go down to Tanks Paintball on Southwest Freeway and shoot someone in the ass. So what do you think of the Red Iris?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Yo, Rick, what you think of the Red Iris?
You ADHD motherfuckers are both over here playing with cords and shit here on the table. Like, I'm watching you both this whole damn time fidgeting like a couple of 13-year-olds. What the fuck?
I just don't feel well. I apologize. I'm glad y'all carried me in this episode because I had a little boost of it, and then it kind of got me, and I had a little, and then it was down again. So I apologize. I wasn't on my game tonight.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I wasted it all in the pregame.
Believe it or not, I listened to a lot of a couple of the songs already. They're good. I just hope that they do catch a big break. And I mean, I was surprised, like you said, when they sat there and they said they opened up for Puddle of Mud. I was like, what? I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
you don't know much.
Well, she didn't tell me.
Well,
don't ask, don't tell.
Nice. That's good for something, right? Well, Rick, you got the connections, man. Why don't you find out, bro? A little something, a little sweet talking. Say, hey, give me some background information on the band. I'll take you to lunch. Some shit like that. No. Rick was like, nah. Spill the beans for nothing.
No, we talk about all kinds of other stuff when she was at work. It was just because I met her just recently.
Oh, okay.
Coming up on maybe a future show. I don't know. Sean says he has a podcaster.
Oh, yes, we do. We have been trying for the longest time to get on our podcast Stacey Jane from Panphobia Podcast.
Is this the one you met in Ohio?
Yeah, that's right. She's from Michigan, and we actually met there in Ohio. So, but I knew her first over Instagram and over different social media.
I don't like her.
But not too sure if we're gonna have a show next week, are we, or are we not, gentlemen? Because this is Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of rough. I don't know what's the day after Thanksgiving.
It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Couple days after Thanksgiving. I guess we'd probably be all turkeyed up. Who knows?
Might be still full. You know, who never knows. Got to roll to work.
I got to go work that Monday.
Oh, you got to work Monday. Okay.
What about you?
Oh, I definitely got to work too.
I'm perfectly game for doing it Monday.
Come down to we have the studio or not. We can always break in.
Yeah,
breaking and entering.
Can't break in. I got a
podcast from jail. Everybody.
Right. Rick has the keys. Always the back door man. You know this.
Man, we already did like the Jailhouse Rock cover for the True Showtime. Now we're gonna do like real pictures. Like
nice.
I'm just curious what you're gonna come up with this one.
I have no idea at this moment, but I'll definitely figure it out.
Assy McGee.
Maybe I'll just take a picture, like an old portrait, one of the old paintings of like the Pilgrims and the Indians, and we'll just put our faces on like the
that would
turkey
work.
and shit like that. Miguel, you're gonna be the turkey.
I knew you would.
The turkey or the ham?
Either way, I better have some blades. Because I ain't going down. There ain't nobody biting my ass. Rick wants my ass. Sean wants my ass.
No.
You ain't getting it. Because I ain't gay.
We have a lot of material that says otherwise.
What the hell? No. So again, guys, for our sponsors, Uncanny Comics, Tanks Paintball, Tokyo Munches, and Japan Ramen Box, we appreciate you joining us on episode 108, where we had our guest, Red Iris, Friends of Rick, local band here in Houston, Texas, who does have a pretty unique sound. If you get a chance to check them out at their clubs, wherever they're playing, please go see them, support the band. They are pretty damn good. And as you could tell per our interview, they are really nice people. And, we're all about helping the nice people, whether it be into the middle of the street or across the street. That's what critical thinking is here for. Thinking through shit and just giving it.
One podcast at a time?
Exactly. So I'm your boy Meg One, along with
Rick the Rizzo,
Sean the Irishman,
and
the dead guy.
Yeah.
In memory of Kyle.
We out. Hey guys, you can connect with us on iTunes
At Critical Thinking Podcast.
and Twitter,
At critic_thinking.
and also on Facebook and Instagram.
At Critical Thinking Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Critical Thinking is on Beyond the Dawn Radio, which is known for playing the best indie radio music around the world.
On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Central Time.
And if you like the show, please 5-star the episode and tell your friends. So thank you for joining us, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.